right, I have the Leech, Damon Jackson, back on the show now, who picked up a UD win over Daniel Argueta this past Saturday at UFC Vegas 56. Damon, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Yeah, doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Fantastic to have you back on the show. And again, congrats on the big win. And I got to just start with this. I mean, did this fight turn out the way that you thought it would? Because, as I told you before we went live here, you were such a massive favorite. I think a lot of people, including myself, felt like you were going to maybe run right through him and get a finish early.
I thought I was gonna beat him in wrestling and the stand up. Whenever I'm walking, like I did my normal warm up, my normal weight cut was good, felt good, and then I had normal warm up. I'm walking out to the cage, and right when I get inside the cage, and I'm like looking across and like doing my walking back and forth, I just felt my legs felt like freaking bricks, man. And this is the second time it's happened. So I've got to figure out what the issue is with, because like I'll do the same weight cut every time, and sometimes it's like perfect, and sometimes it's not. So either got to get a little bit lighter, walk around lighter, or I've got to cut the weight a little bit differently or rehydrate a little differently, something. But something's I'm gonna have to tweak a few things and figure out what that's about, because that can't happen again, because that kid had no business being in the cage with me, and somehow he lasted 3 rounds.
So if you had to, give a percentage as to how close you were to being 100%, yourself in there, how close were you?
You're never 100%. Like you're always kind of tweaked and like working on a few things when you're going in there. But as far as like my normal percentage wise for fights, like I felt great, man. I was like 90. I felt great, and wake up was good. I had a good camp. It was really just like that last couple hours, I just felt like this sluggish feeling in my legs, and I really don't know what it was. I would love to figure it out, but I really don't know. Honestly, don't know. Yeah.
So having said all that, are you happy that you were able to dig through this and get the UD win, or are you disappointed with your performance?
Obviously, no. I mean, I'm not stoked with the way it went down for sure, but I'm not. I'm gonna be happy because I got the win. Because if I would have lost to that kid and felt like crap, and then have to like say that sob story where, oh, I felt like crap, I had a bad weight cut and I lost, and forgive me or whatever, but I got the win. So here in a few days, that's what's funny about MMA, is that here in a few days, you're not gonna remember that he took the fight on a short notice. You're not gonna remember the fact that he fought most of his fights at 35. You're not gonna remember the fact that like it went all 3 rounds. You're gonna see a W or a L, and that's it. And it's just, you're only as good as your last fight. So here in a few weeks, people will think they'll think I'm good again or whatever. It's just like, it was frustrating. It's not my favorite performance for myself, but for the fans, man, I'm really getting into the fans. I'm really trying to respond to people. I'm trying to be more engaged with all that stuff. So to like kind of let everyone down as far as like an exciting fight and stuff like that, like it was frustrating, but that wasn't what I wanted to do. It was just what I had to do to get the win.
So obviously you were the taller, longer fighter in there, and he was more short and stocky in stature. How difficult was he to get in there and roll around with? Because I have to imagine that would have been, I guess, a little bit challenging. You were initially supposed to fight Derek or Minner, so how
Yeah.
different was that?
It was a completely different style. As far as wrestling takedown wise, you can take anyone down with very similar takedowns, but when you get him on the ground, the control's a lot different. But I give no credit to him, his style or anything. It wasn't like he was anything special. It was literally just a bad experience on my end. I don't know if it was the rehydration or if it was the weight cut, but that's what I blame it on. I don't blame it on him being good, because he wasn't that good, and he had no way to get up. He had no technical things to like do. I should have freaking subbed him in the first when I took him down. But I just, something wasn't right, and I'll fix it.
Okay. And we talked a little bit here before we actually started the interview. There was some trash talking going on. I remember in the first round, you said to him, you talk a lot. And then in the third round, even your coach, Cub Swanson, everyone's getting into it. Can you just kind of run me through all of that from your point of view?
That was 100% him and Cub being just trash. Like, I'm in the cage. We're fighting. So me and him were fighting. He says, "Oh, what a boring fight." I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Okay, get your ass up then." And that was all I said. I was like, "Okay, get your ass up." and he couldn't get up. So then he's like, "Oh, this is so boring for the fans." I'm like, "Yeah, they don't like watching you sit on, like me sit on your back. Why don't you get up?" And then I didn't say anything else. I'm like, you know what? I just gotta figure out a way to finish this kid. I've gotta, get in and out because I don't feel good right now. I want to finish this fight. And then Cub starts chiming in. Cub's like, "Be dirty, do a foot stomp." Like, who the fuck does foot stomps? Foot stomps don't work. Like, what are you talking about? That's like 1990s MMA. Like, and he's over there talking, "Do foot stomps, work your head position." And I'm like, why don't you tell him how to get me off his back? Why don't you tell him how to get up to back up to his feet? And like, he's saying all these stuff like to me about me, like in the middle of the fight. I'm like, dude, that's like that's trash. Like, you look at MMA and you wanna think of like all the, like the mentally, you got to be strong, you got to be busting your ass, you got to do all these things that take a lot of discipline. And for you to sit over there while you're a coach and like talk to the other fighter, that's like straight trash. And it's because he had no answers, because he's not a coach. He's still trying to fight. And I don't know who this kid is to him, but he obviously has some kind of emotional connection with him, because this kid, he's out there like talking smack to me. Like, I'm like, why don't you just tell him some technique? Like, teach him something out of your freaking 15 years of fighting. Like, teach him how to get up or whatever. Like, don't talk to me, man. Talk to this kid. He needs your help, not me. And so after the fight was over, I was like, Cub, I was like, we're in the same division. If you want to run it up, let's go. And he had nothing to say. He acted all like Cali bad. He acted like a hard ass. He like stuck his elbows out. And I'm like, shut up, man. Like, just get out of here. You're trash. Like, don't talk to me in the middle of a fight whenever your guy has no answers. Like, he needs the answers. He needs you to tell him something, because he doesn't know what he's doing. And whatever. But I don't know what the deal was. That was the weirdest thing though, because in the Apex, it's so quiet anyways, and you could just hear him talking to me. And I was like, what? And then coach was like, hey, Cub, like, stop. Like, what are you doing? And then that kid started talking to my coach, and I was like, because I took him down over in my corner. But I was like, this guy, like, what is he doing right now? This is the weirdest thing. Yeah, so weird.
So at the end of the fight, at the end of the third round, there was like a little bit of tension. You looked a little upset. I don't know if you tried to shove him or what happened, but what happened? Was that just kind of your frustration with them talking, or did he do something? Did Argueta do something?
Well, like, yeah, it was the combination of them talking, and then as he was getting up, he kind of like pushed me up, and I was already getting up, and I was like, dude, like, what the fuck is your deal? Like, like, the fight's over. Like, you're not gonna like persuade the judges into like somehow making this you won any round. Like, you did nothing like the whole time. And so it was just, yeah, it was just emotional, and I wasn't feeling good, and I was just really pissed off. But man, I don't know what happened with my legs. I've got to get that figured out. Now, I will get it figured out. That won't ever happen again, because that's the second time it's happened. And I really kind of tweaked things last fight. I felt great, and this time I guess it just like I slipped up somewhere. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'll figure that out, and that won't happen again.
All right. So I wanted to ask you too, in the third round, were you more off balance, or did he drop you with that shot?
No, no, that was 100%. So a lot of people close to me know this, but like in high school, I tore some tendon in my ankle. I don't know what tendon it is, but I've struggled with my ankle forever. My entire amateur pro career and all my wrestling matches, I've always had to tape my ankle up. I've always had to like, secure it in some way. And when I fight, I don't get to do that. So it really messes me up a lot. And but that was a combination of you can see my legs kind of give out, man. Like, my legs were fried. I was done. And my legs were just like horrible shape. I don't know what happened, man. I was like in perfect cardio. Like, I was doing everything perfect, like perfect. Like, I don't mess up on anything. And that was frustrating, man. My legs kind of gave out. My ankle rolled underneath me, and then I fell down. And as he was coming in at me, I could see his punches coming from a mile away. All I did was like move my head. It was like slow-mo Matrix, like on both ends, on my end and on his end. He wasn't hitting me, and I would just move just enough out of the way, and then I got back up to my feet, and I was completely fine. It was just me falling down.
Okay. And your left eye looked a little, bruised and a little worn in that fight. Did that affect you at all? Did it affect your vision?
Nah. Um, yeah, it's a little bruise. It's not bad. He was hitting me while I had his back. So I'm like, why don't you fight the hands? Why don't you turn your hips into me? He's not doing anything like to get up. He was just comfortable with sitting there punching me. So I was like, it's not a very smart game plan, but you know, what can you expect when you have Cub Swanson as your coach? So I guess, I'm gonna make some digs at Cub because I'm just like, whatever, man. Like, you want to talk smack to me? Let's go. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm gonna have a better weight cut next time. So don't expect that same fighter, and don't expect me to ever come looking like that again because it won't ever happen again. That wasn't my game plan. It's just what I had to do to survive because I was in a bad spot.
How would a fight with you and Cub Swanson play out?
I would sub him first round. I would embarrass him. I would embarrass him. And I just like like there's very few people that really piss me off with like in life, period. Like not just like with MMA, because MMA there's like really no one that I'm mad at. But I felt the way that he carried himself in that fight was like super trashy, and I'm just like disgusted by it. And if he wants to take up for his little buddy that he just cornered for, and he wants to like come get revenge, like I'm ready to go. Like whatever you want, however you want to twist it and say what you want about it. I would love the Darren Elkins fight because I'm a big fan of Darren, and I love that the way he fights, his style of fighting. That's what I want. That's definitely the matchup that I want. But I can't force anyone to fight me. But if Cub has some kind of beef with me and he wants to like pretend like this imaginary beef is real, like it's real by my end, I'll fight him any day, whatever. Like I don't give a shit.
I love it, man. I think that would be a fight the fans would love to see. I got to ask you about the judges' scorecards: 230 to 27s, 129-28. Does that sit well with you? Do you agree with that?
Bro, every time I think that's my third decision. I don't know. Third or fourth decision, I don't know. Uh every time I go into a decision, I literally show no emotion because I'm like, one of these judges is going to be a dumbass and I just know it, and whatever. But like, 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Okay. So maybe you give him the fact that I had his back the whole time, and he was punching me, and then you give him the questionable knockdown, me falling down, and then maybe you give him like, I don't know what else, but like, I could see someone saying that it was a 29-28 for sure. It wasn't like it was dominating. I had his back the whole time and I was controlling the whole time, but it wasn't like I was just beating the crap out of him and, got that 30-27 every single round. It was, I won every round for sure, 100%, but 29-28, I could see that.
Okay, fair enough. Now this makes it 3 wins in a row for you. You were this is something I just learned. I watched your post-fight interview after the fights there at the venue. You were born and raised close to Dallas. UFC
Hell yeah.
277 is July 30th. So that's the
And
card you want to be on, right?
that's the card I wanted on first originally. So that's what pissed me off with the whole thing with the vacation thing. Cause so when my kids were getting out of school, I was like, okay, we're gonna go on vacation the very first day you guys get out of school. And I planned it. I already booked it and everything, had it done. And then we were leaving on the 27th. We are gonna come back on the 6th. And then they said, oh, the Dallas card isn't gonna happen. They're gonna do it June 18th. And I said, okay, book me on that card. And then he said, oh, it's not gonna happen. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go on a trip with my girls, and then I'll get on the schedule as soon as possible. He's like, well, I can get you on June 4th. Jason, my manager. And he was like, I can get you on June 4th. I was like, done, let's go. So I moved my vacation to the 7th instead of leaving on the 27th. And then they come out with the freaking Dallas card. And I was like, are you freaking serious, man? Like, that's what I wanted. I didn't even want to fight in Austin. Like, I don't want to fight in Austin. I don't want to fight in Houston. I want to fight in Dallas. And they haven't came here, with COVID and everything going on. It's like they haven't been here in a while. And it's just, that was frustrating for sure to have a fight. And then they announced that. So if I could somehow talk them into getting me and Darren Elkins on that card, that would be freaking unreal. It would be so cool. And, you know, I think he's down to fight too. I think he said he wanted to fight in August or by August. So, if he wants to fight again, like that would be a really cool fight for sure.
Okay, so I was just gonna say that's not too soon of a turnaround for you. You're hoping that end of July,
No,
UFC 277. You want that?
hell yeah. I want to fight there so bad. It'd be the coolest thing for me because I grew up an hour from here, but my pro career has been based out of here. So like my entire like I was 3-0 when I moved from Missouri. Like I had 7 amateur fights and then or 8 amateur fights, and then I moved to Missouri, or I moved from Missouri to Texas when I was 3-0 as a pro, and then I've been here in Dallas since I was 3-0. You know, so that's a lot of fights. Like I don't know the math. That's 21-5. It's like over, well over 20 fights in Dallas, like in Dallas. So it'd be awesome. Yeah.
I got to imagine you'll have a lot of support there at the venue.
Oh man. So at the Apex, so tickets, they start at 1,500. Okay. I sell 20 something thousand in tickets just at the Apex. That's close, very close family and friends that are coming to watch me fight. And they buy the ticket because they just like they love supporting, coming out and being there cheering for me and stuff. And I just like I would love to fight in Dallas. It'd be so cool.
So is the plan now just to kind of have some quiet time, spend some time with your family here for the next week or so?
For sure, man. I literally tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. we fly out to Mexico. We're gonna be there for a week. I'm gonna be training. I'm gonna be swimming, running, doing my normal cardio. I'm gonna keep my weight low. I would love to fight in the Dallas card. I would love to fill in on short notice. Like I just don't care. I just want to fight as soon as possible, and I would love the Dallas card for sure. But I'm gonna be staying ready, staying for whoever, whatever. I'm just trying to get my weight, manage that a little bit better this time, and we'll go from there, man. But yeah, that's all. I'm just chilling this week.
Perfect. Well, Damon, again, congrats on the win, my man. Always great talking to you. Before I do let you go, I want to give you the floor. Please tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, all my social media is Damon B Jackson, and just have Instagram and Twitter. So that's about all I do on there. And any sponsors I'll throw on there. But man, I just appreciate everybody's support, and I love fighting, and I'm hoping that I can get 2 more in this year. It'd be really cool. Maybe 3. We'll see.